What would the WWE landscape look like if Drew McIntyre did not lose his title to Cody Rhodes?
And what does CM Punk do if the Bloodline forms in full force?
Find out after this.
All right, Joe. So what do you think would have happened differently had Drew beat Cody last week on SmackDown?
I think WrestleMania would have been better. I think the
right off the bat.
Right off the bat. Right
Ruined
right
it, Triple H.
Yeah.
You blew it.
I think, and we talked about this a little bit on our last episode on Wednesday, but I think allowing Drew to carry the title into WrestleMania at least shows him, hey, you've carried, in my opinion, you've carried SmackDown for however long he's been carrying it. He's been like the main consistent guy. I know they have, Cody and stuff like that over there, but Drew has been very consistent. And I feel like and what he hold the title for 60 days?
54, 57 days, something like that I saw, yeah.
I don't think he held it long enough. And I know he is leaving WWE for a little bit just to film Highlander with Batista and Spider-Man. Henry Cavill, I think, is in that.
Spider-Man?
Not Spider-Man, Batista.
Superman. Henry Cavill, yes, is rumored also.
Yeah, Henry Cavill and Batista. He's going
well, Batista's not quite large anymore, but I was going to say those are three large men, but Batista's kind of shrunk a little bit.
Yeah, Batista's he shed a few muscles. I didn't hit the timer. But we'll assume we're at a minute. I think allowing him to go in, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton wins his 15th championship, I think is a better storyline. You have a face versus a heel. Randy Orton gets the win. Put Cody Rhodes against Fatu because there's a storyline there too, right? And then whatever happens there, the winner of that match goes for the title. It can be Cody at that point, right? Then he goes for the title, and then you can do your Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton that WWE seems to be wanting to do so bad. Where does that leave Fatu, though? I don't know. But I think there was better ways to do what they did than how they did it, because they made two big matches useless and just to make a match that they could have done after WrestleMania.
Yeah. So we complained that Royal Rumble and the Elimination Chamber were kind of useless with Cody getting a shot at Drew.
Mm-hmm.
But they turned around and made it even more useless by letting Cody win. Again, he wasn't supposed to have an idle title shot unless he won Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber. He didn't, but he's getting the shot anyway. So now we have face versus face. When you said also that face versus heel is always better.
Mm-hmm.
Both Cody and Randy are both rumored to turn heel, whether or not they do it or whatever. But Randy in particular is so over right now. I think he's the type, almost like a Stone Cold. He's not really face or heel. He's got tendencies on both. Like what he did to Cody in the Elimination Chamber was a heel move. It wasn't a face move.
Yeah, but like he told Sami Zayn,
yeah,
if you want to win, you got to do what's best for you.
When the voices come talking, you got to listen. But yeah, so unless they're going to turn one of them heel, and you could have did that against Drew. Like Randy could have snapped against Drew, and Cody would have had to come out and try and save him or stop him or calm him down, and he turned against Cody.
Even think about that, right? They have to somehow write Drew off TV because he's going to be gone for a while.
Yes.
So he could have snapped, became a heel, just beat the tar out of him, hit him with everything that he could find, and put Drew out.
Yes,
he for however long he's going to be out for.
They've been teasing the Randy punt again for about a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. So I think there was better ways to do that. Instead, I think that spot's going to go to Jacob Fatu now. I think Jacob Fatu is going to end up beating him so bad he's out of television for a while. Yeah. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it. I think Drew winning is a much better scenario for WWE. I think that opens up more storylines rather than just ending a few quick ones. I think that opens up more opportunity for them.
Yeah, I heard there was, and again, it's internet speculation that Triple H went to Drew when Drew didn't want to lose and said, okay, well, who are you wrestling? You got Randy and you got Cody. You got Randy and you Cody. You wrestled them. Why do you got to keep wrestling them? And why does Drew have to make his case? You're the writers. Give the man his title. He earned it.
Right.
He won it. Let him defend it. So he loses it at WrestleMania, but at least he gets to keep it for another. He doubles his reign at that point.
Well, right. He gets to walk into WrestleMania as the champion.
Yeah.
And I think that is huge for a wrestler, I would assume. If I was a champion and I was going to lose it, I would want to lose it at WrestleMania. You get to walk in, you get to main event WrestleMania, which is a big deal. As
you get that entrance.
Yeah.
That world heavyweight title championship entrance is super.
Which we need to talk about that on another show. Entrances need to change. But anyway,
all right.
We'll anyway, we've talked about that for like 30 minutes. Let's go on to the next one.
So already, well, the Bloodline returning. So, Jay and Jimmy came out and backed Roman pretty strongly last night, while also saying this ain't about Roman. So they don't necessarily have to bring it back, but it leans like they're going back that way. That that Roman, gets the Usos back. Maybe he gets, like I said, a Jacob Fatu or other parts of the Roman. But if the Bloodline does reunite against CM Punk and him disparaging one of the heads of the whole Bloodline family, what does CM Punk do? He's gotten really nobody right now. He's kind of a loner.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. You got if the Bloodline were to return, which I think would be a fantastic idea, because the current people that would be in the Bloodline now are far better, I think, than what they were, right? It's basically the same people, but I think they're all pretty much elevated now from where they were. You would have Roman, the Usos, Fatu, Solo, which we both really like Solo, and they're misusing him in the MFTs for sure. You would have the Tongas, all three of them, right? There's 3 Tongas.
Yep.
Who am I missing?
Jacob Fatu, if you want to count him.
I think I said him though.
And JC Mateo.
No, he's not.
If you want to, he's in the MFTs. So if you want to keep him as a part of the family, that's it. That's the family.
They've even planted seeds. I know WWE's big on planting seeds, and apparently the main event of WrestleMania is because they planted seeds for the last couple years of Randy Orton staring at the title. Where am I going with this?
Planting seeds on something with the Bloodline.
Yeah, I forgot what I was saying.
I know there's been a lot of, I've seen online a Zilla Fatu. There's other Fatus.
Yeah, there's other Fatus that could come in. I don't know. I had something and I completely lost it, and it was a good one. It was a good one. I lost it. I don't know. That's that absinthe that we drank.
All right, my tongue went numb for a while. Joe's brain went numb.
Yeah, I totally forgot. Man, that was a good one too. If it comes back to me, I'll blur it out in the middle of another topic.
Yeah.
But the Bloodline returning, I think, would be a good thing for WWE because their writing is kind of stale right now. I guess Sami Zayn, right? Wasn't he part of the Bloodline for a while? And
Sammy Uso.
He's kind of trending towards heelish antics right now. So, not saying the Bloodline would be bad guys, but I think put them in there. But the Bloodline versus CM Punk has nobody, right?
Yes.
Which you've alluded to. So I think that would be a good storyline, right? CM Punk trying to get people on his side where everyone's like, you're kind of on your own, man. And no one wants to help him.
He's always kind of been his whole gimmick has been like the everyman wrestler. So the underdog role that what they put Sami Zayn in the last couple of years could be good for CM Punk. I think he would pull it off better than Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I agree.
He's got the pedigree of a champion that I would believe it more when he comes back and, fights back against the crowd than Sami Zayn. Because at least, like I said, CM Punk has that pedigree.
Right. Yeah. So. I think Bloodline coming back, though, would be huge. I think it may happen.
Alrighty.
Triple H told me.
Our one of our dream matches for WrestleMania is Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi.
Mm-hmm.
But rumors have been circulating online that Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman have went to WWE Raiders and said that, Brock Lesnar wants to come back and work toward retirement, but he doesn't want to lose another match, including his retirement match. So what does WWE do with Brock or Oba or both if he refuses to job? He refuses to put Oba over.
I hate when stuff like this happens. We mentioned it in our last video. I mentioned it in our last video. When you sign a contract with a company, you have to do kind of what they say. Obviously, maybe there's something written in the contract that says you can pick this, or this.
Does he have creative control?
Yeah, does he have creative control? I don't know that necessarily, but I think you're under contract. You kind of got to do what's best for the business. You're retiring, so even after you lose, it doesn't matter anymore. Brock Lesnar is one of the best who's ever been in WWE. So even if, I don't know, say he's got 6 matches left, he goes 0-6 in those matches, that's not going to affect how people think about him after the fact.
Cena lost his last 3 matches?
Cena
or 3
lost
of his
a
last
bunch,
4
right?
matches there at the end?
And if you have a guy like Oba Femi coming up, and you kind of want him to be your new Brock Lesnar, right? You could see that when, he's throwing guys across the ring.
Throwing large men like
Rusev.
Rusev
He threw
across
Rusev across the ring, which was pretty impressive. So they're trying to build him up to be like a big beast like Brock Lesnar was. Let him just decimate Lesnar. I think doing that would move Femi up top 3 or 4 as far as WWE roster goes. It'd make him huge. And what do you have to lose? Lesnar's leaving anyway. Yeah. So who cares? I mean, I guess if Lesnar won't do it, he won't do it. But if that's the case, then
why is he here?
Why is he there? Just cut ties with him at that point. I mean, I know he's a cash cow. I know you said he doesn't seem as over anymore when he comes out. I agree with that statement. The crowd still pops, and you see the crowd jump up when his little music hits and stuff like that. But he's not the draw he used to be. You have guys who can be the same, if not more, like Oba Femi. Just give it to Oba Femi.
Yeah. John Cena's up there with the biggest names in wrestling, like Hogan, The Rock, The Undertaker,
I would
Stone
put him
Cold.
above The Rock.
He's up there with the biggest draws, the biggest pops, whatever. He jobbed and got destroyed by Brock Lesnar twice.
Yeah.
He was in the middle of his career and at the end of his career. If Brock Lesnar can't do the same, just get out. Like you're at the end of your career, you're here to put over the younger wrestlers.
Yep.
And we're not asking you to lose to Dominic Mysterio. They're asking you to lose to a guy who's your size or bigger in Oba Femi, the type of wrestler you should be put over because that's the type of wrestler you were.
Right, exactly. And I agree with that. I think Lesnar should do that job. I'm not Lesnar, though. So, right. What's next?
Now we got a bit of a what if here. I'm going to ask you to use some creative thinking and some Joe Stradamus.
Joe
in the
Stradamus.
Past, not necessarily in the future, but in
my
the past.
crystal ball.
So what would have happened the last couple months had the vision not gotten broken? Not had Seth Rollins not got hurt before the vision turned on him? Had then Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed both not got injured? What would you have done with the vision over the last couple months?
Well, I think you can kind of think back on where they were heading towards some of this stuff, right? So the easy one is Bronson Reed. He was supposed to be in Logan Paul's spot at the Chamber. So he probably would have got those pins instead of Logan Paul. And then if Seth didn't get hurt, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Seth got hurt before the vision kicked him out, right?
Yeah, he got hurt and they escalated the turn right after he got hurt.
I kind of think it would still, in going off of if Bron Breakker didn't get hurt, I think it was still headed towards Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker. I think Seth Rollins getting hurt probably just escalated the plan of him getting kicked out a little bit faster. Because I felt like they were always teasing like Bron Breakker feeling like he was kind of being overshadowed by Seth a little bit.
He was clearly the more motivated between him and Bronson Reed to be the one to turn. Yes.
Right. And then that was it, right? Just those three.
Yeah.
So where would they be?
Would they have brought in Logan Paul? Would they have brought in Austin?
Yeah, I don't think
Theory?
they would have brought in Logan Paul. I think Austin Theory was always going to be part of it. Because that was way back when they were talking about bringing in Austin Theory into part of it, which I'm fine with, by the way. I wish they used him better, but I'm fine with Austin Theory being in that faction. It looks glaring now with just Austin Theory and Logan Paul.
Yes.
But it worked when the Brons were in it and Seth Rollins. Well, the Brons and not Seth Rollins, but Paul Heyman.
He's a great secondary character right now.
Yeah. Where would they be? I mean, you'd see Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker. You'd see possibly when Lesnar's doing his call-out thing, I can see Bronson Reed answering that. That would be a massive fight, I think. Assuming Lesnar would allow himself to lose.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about the other one, the tag team one. But I don't that's a tough one. I think it would be different. It'd be quite a bit different. I know that's a stupid answer because obviously it'd be different, but I think you would have Seth Rollins, Breakker, Lesnar, Bronson Reed.
When do you think the turn would have happened? Would it have happened in the Royal Rumble? Would they have put
probably Elimination Chamber
in the Elimination Chamber, or maybe during one of the qualifying matches?
Yeah, or somewhere right around the Elimination Chamber, because they would have to build up to those matches. Yeah. So probably, I'd say somewhere in a week before to the week after Elimination Chamber, somewhere in there. I think it was probably supposed to have happened.
Yeah, hopefully when they get healthy, we get some of those matches. It won't quite be the original storyline, but I would like to see Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker in a match.
Yeah, which speaking of,
yeah. So coming up, we're gonna make some WrestleMania card predictions. We're gonna go over the 4 matches that we know, and then we're gonna try and fill out a full WrestleMania card. We're assuming there's gonna be 7 to 8 matches per night. So I think we've got 14 to 15, 16 matches.
I think we have 16
written down. So we're gonna go over them. At the end, I did think of somebody we forgot, but I'll bring them up at the end, and maybe we'll throw them into a match.
Someone we forgot.
So
better not end with El Grande Americano.
No,
all right.
You know what? That was one of the matches. We're going to add that match.
About that.
That's going to be. We'll talk about that.
Mask
that is a
mask. I didn't think about that one.
We may have to cut a match, but whatever.
Yeah.
But no, there was a big name that you mentioned earlier in this show that we did not plan for. That I don't think so.
Okay.
But yeah, match number 1. We talked about it earlier. We've got Cody versus Randy at WrestleMania.
Yep. We're not doing predictions here. We're just
filling out the card.
We're going to fill out the card. If we were fantasy booking right now, this is the card we would make. Now, obviously, this can change week to week depending on how people get hurt or angles change or storylines develop. But this is, as of right now, how we would book. We would love to hear your
matches we want to see based on current WWE storylines. We didn't really make up storylines, but it's matches we want to see based on current storylines. And please share what your thoughts are below.
Yeah, what you guys think of. Did we have it right? Did we not have it right? What would you guys like to see?
Okay.
So the 4 main ones that we know are Cody versus Randy, like you said.
Yes.
Then we have Punk versus Roman Reigns.
Yes.
Those are the 2 men's matches.
2 men's heavyweight championships. Yes, sir.
And then
we got Liv and Stephanie Verker for the women's championship, and Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill for the other women's championship.
Yep. So those 4 are currently set in stone, but who knows? Anything could change.
Yeah. A week ago, it was Drew versus Randy.
Yes.
So
yep.
We got 6 weeks till WrestleMania. A lot can change.
Yep. So now the rest of these are more speculative and just kind of what we think, where we think they're headed.
Okay. You want to alternate going down the list?
Yeah, let's alternate.
Okay.
Do you want to go down the list or you just randomly pick some?
No, go down the list. That way it's here in order. Yep. You go first because I know this next one is one you were hoping for the last 6 months.
Yeah, I think Oba Femi answers the open challenge to Brock Lesnar and he comes out possibly even as soon as this coming Monday.
Yes.
He finished with Rusev and I think he comes out to challenge Lesnar and I think Lesnar does the job. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to be predicting.
No predictions. All right.
Yep.
Next one, the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I don't think AJ Lee and Becky Lynch are done. So I think we'll see that rematch, whether we see it before WrestleMania or, they're going to wrestle WrestleMania. That's one of our predictions.
Yep. Next up, we have the Visions, Logan, Paul, and Austin Theory against the Usos for the men's tag team. Is that on Raw?
That's the Raw tag team? Yes.
For the Raw Tag Team Championships. We're going to go right over this.
Yeah. For the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, we're going to go with the MFTs versus the Wyatt Six versus Damian Priest and R-Truth in a 3-way. Maybe they'll throw in some of the other tag teams like the Motor City Machine Guns like they did last year at WrestleMania or SummerSlam when they had that big ladder match. But some sort of combined multi-tag team ladder match for the SmackDown titles.
Yep, I agree with that. Next up. I think they're going to revisit for the 943rd time Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov because they do wrestle a lot, but it seems like every match they just put on a banger. So
Dragunov's not ready yet. He's getting ready.
He has to mentally prepare. Whatever.
So
you might want to skip the next one because we don't have anybody.
You know what? I'm going to throw the name in that we forgot.
Okay.
We had Penta up next defending his Intercontinental title. We couldn't come up with a name. We talked around JD McDonough. We talked around a couple other names. He just said, we talked about him earlier. He's got voices forming in his head. He's going to snap. So maybe Penta versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, we don't have a plan for. And I think he's too over with the crowd. I think he's going to be at WrestleMania. So we're going to throw down Penta versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn goes heel and goes against Penta.
Yeah. All right. We'll pencil that in.
Okay.
Again, these can all change, and they will. Next up for the women's tag team, we have Nia Jax, Lash Legend, another multi-match team or multi-team match. Bliss Flair, Bayley, Lyra Valkyria, and against the Bella Twins as well. So a 4-way match for the women's tag titles. They don't do women's TLC matches, do they? Or table matches or ladder matches? Do they?
I mean, women's Money in the Bank is a women's ladder match.
Yeah, this is true. So maybe
I don't recall seeing one for the tag titles, but yeah,
maybe there'll be some kind of gimmick thrown in here. But that's kind of yeah.
Maybe
the natural disasters,
something like that.
Not the natural disasters. Why do I keep calling them that?
the irresistible forces.
The irresistible forces versus Bliss and Flair versus Bayley, Lyra Valkyria versus the Bella Twins.
Alrighty. Next up, we've got the women's U.S. title, Julia. We threw her against Io Sky. We weren't sure who to put Julia against. I was hoping for Chelsea Green. I don't know if her foot's going to be back in time, but we didn't have a place for Io Sky. She came out on Monday night and wrestled for the Intercontinental title. So if she can wrestle for the Intercontinental title, she can wrestle for the U.S. title. So.
Yeah. I think that'd be a good match. Actually,
yes,
that might be one that would steal the show, a possible one.
That might be the best women's match of the night.
Yep. Then the alternate to Cody versus Randy is Drew versus Fatu, which is probably pretty much locked in. Maybe that should be up in our locked in category, but it hasn't been announced yet. So Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu.
Yeah. I'm going to
probably real quick in like a no holds barred. It'll be one of those goofy, whatever, no rules matches, whatever they want to call it. But
Las Vegas street
fight.
The
Las Vegas street fight. Yep.
I'm going to follow that up with another lock that was set up last night on Raw. It's been burning for a while, but Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor. Really pulling for the Demon here, but I would bet a lot that we're going to see Dom versus Finn at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I hope it's the Demon. I hope it's Demon Balor. I think that would be cool. We haven't seen him in a while, and I don't know who I'd want to win that. We'll have to wait for our prediction video for that, but I think that'll be a good one. Next up, we have what has been rumored for a long time, a retirement match. When you have a retirement match, you got to have Gunther. And I think he's going to put the stomp on Rey Mysterio and end Rey Mysterio's career.
Yeah. And one last match. Again, we had a match that we thought was going to happen, and we threw a third name in because we weren't sure what he was going to do. But we were predicting Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker. That's been hoped that they would both be healthy in time for WrestleMania. And we threw LA Knight in there. He's feuded with Seth Rollins in the past. He's feuded with The Vision. So a three-way between Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, and LA Knight for WrestleMania. So
yeah. So I think that would also be, I think we should book the card.
I think that'd be great.
This would be a great card right here. Next time Triple H calls me, I'm going to pitch him these. Yeah. And see what we get.
Next time he pitches a new landscape for WrestleStop, you pitch a new landscapes and matches for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think that's what I need to do. Thank you for watching another episode of WrestleStop. If you liked what you saw, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. You can reach us at any of the addresses on screen. And there's a couple extra videos here on the screen. If you liked what you saw, maybe you'll like one of these as well. Thanks for watching.